The pay-per-view is going to headline Sergio Mosley against Sergio, the Latin snake, Mora. Two guys, two names which we all know. Sergio Mora, of course, the winner of the Contender and the world champion as well when he beat the late Vernon Forrest. And Sergio Mosley really doesn't need much introduction, one of the most legendary fighters of this generation. We are also going to have on the card, and I mean, each one of those guys could be a main event on its own. We are going to have Victor Ortiz on the card as well, who headlined not too long ago at Staples Center, and is one of the rising young prospects and contenders ready for a world title shot in one of his next few fights. So it's we're really happy to have Victor Ortiz on the card as well. And then, of course, the Mexican superstar, Saul Canelo Alvarez. And I have to tell you guys something. I couldn't believe it. Actually, I had to ask Ramiro to make sure that he translated correctly. We have Televisa here, which is, of course, covering all of Saul Canelo Alvarez's moves. And they were telling me that the last fight he had a couple weeks ago down in Guadalajara had a 17.8 ratings. Now, I didn't really know what does that mean, a 17.8 rating, so I wanted it to be explained to me. Each rating point in Mexico represents 600,000 homes. So you take the 17.8 multiplied with the 600,000 homes, you have 10.6 million households. The average, I'm told, in Mexico of households watching boxing is 6 to 8 people per home. Well, if we take the lower number, to be conservative, 6, that represents 63.6 million people. 63.6 million people were watching this young man's fight a couple weeks ago. There is no doubt he's the most watched and most followed fighter today. I don't care, you can put anyone else in there, he is the most watched fighter today.
Buenos días a todos, gracias por estar aquí. Bueno, para mí esa fecha es muy importante. Yo esa noche quiero ser el representante de México y pues no defraudar a mi país, ¿no? Ojalá y vaya muchos paisanos por ahí que van a tener una buena pelea y pues gracias por su apoyo y van a ver que los voy a representar bien. Gracias.
I'll translate for Saul. He said, once again, thank you all for being here. Yes, September 18th is very, very important for me. I don't want to fail my countrymen, and I'm going to put together a good fight. And I'm representing Mexico in this card here. And basically, thank you all for being here, and we want to invite you to be there as well at Staples Center September 18th. Thank you.
And this young man, who is currently ranked first by the WBO, second by the WBA, and third by the IBF at the junior welterweight division, is a fighter who obviously ducks no one. Is a fighter who's coming off a great win against the very crafty, very knowledgeable, and very hard to fight Nate Campbell. In his last fight, May 15th, he did take a decision against the great Nate Campbell, which was a great fight on HBO. And we feel, obviously, that we had a little derailment when he had his first world title fight. But it wasn't, the train didn't go off the railroad tracks completely. Only one little wheel came off the railroad, and right now we're on the verge of putting it right back on, and we can go full steam ahead with this young fighter.
First off, I just want to thank everyone here today, just for even being here. Golden Boy, of course, Oscar, Sugar Shane, man, Canelo, you know. It's my boy Sergio. I can't, you know. It's an honor to be on that right there. That's pretty. It made me look a lot meaner than I really am, though. But that's boxing. I do want to clarify one thing, though, and that one thing is, I know I lost a year ago, you know, and that one fight has kind of took over in people's minds that I'm not that fighter. Well, everybody's liable to their own opinion, you know, and I have nothing against it. But let me just say that September 18th was originally supposed to be with Maidana. I accepted. I waited for the contract. He turned it down. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about him. I respect his decision and his opinion. And hey, man, it is what it is. But you know, I was just really want to get that little chip off my shoulder. But other than that, you know, I'm just happy and stoked to be with a great team, Coach Haas, Coach Daniel, and Mario, which is at home right now. Got grounded by the wife. Just kidding.
Shane was a world champion. Fernando Vargas was a world champion. I was 1-0. I remember Fernando and me used to go to war. We used to behead each other in the ring. Outside of the ring, he kind of was a little tough too. I remember him not really letting me train in his hours of Big Bear Fitness because he's feroz. It's like, I'm going to kill you inside the ring, and outside the ring, we're not friends. Shane wasn't like that. I remember Shane and his father, Jack Mosley, accepted. I said, hey, listen, my time's your time. Feel free. Enjoy yourself, kid. And that's the first image that I had of Shane Mosley. 9-10 years later, things haven't changed. You know, Shane Mosley is, like I said, a warrior. And one of the best fighters of our era, of my era, him and Bernard and a lot of other fighters. So it's definitely an honor to be fighting a throwback fighter. But with that said, you know, we're on the same team, we're on the same Golden Boy banner, but we are businessmen, we are fighters. We're here to behead each other. So the bottom line is, you know, I respect him. But come September 18th, it's not only the Sugar Shane Mosley show, it's the Latin Snakes debut. You guys know me as a contender. You guys know me as a fighter that's been on television. You guys probably know my story with my mom and my dogs and my girl and all that. But you guys don't know that I was a couple points away from the Olympic team in 2000. I went to 11-0 with no promotional backing, no manager. I went on the television show. Up until now, 9 years into my career, I'm finally with a promoter. Have the muscle in Golden Boy, and Richard Schaefer, and Oscar de la Hoya. I'm finally with a manager, a well-respected manager, in Cameron Duncan. And I'm in my prime. I'm very eager to prove myself. And I'm going to do that September 18th. A lot of you also don't know that me and Shane actually already fought twice last year. We were on a fight night game up in Vancouver, and we were supposed to use our avatars to fight. First time I beat him in a decision with my slippery style. Second time he knocked me out. But we're 1-1. So this is going to be our trilogy. So I'm very excited about that. Another thing that we have in common, in comparison, we both fought at the Staples Center and were successful. He's packed the crowd with 20,000 people when he fought Antonio Margarito, when he just annihilated a great Mexican warrior, Margarito, who I've been sparring for 10 years, and I know how tough he is. We've never been knocked out near Shane. And also maybe the quality that both of the sharers that we both shared 24 amazing rounds with the great and late Vernon Forrest. And that's something me and him have the only honor to say that we've done. So I think those are the similarities that people need to know. Another thing that I'm very excited about is September 18th is the day, the Oscar de la Hoya day pretty much. He made that day what it is. Legendary. Cinco de Mayo is another day. Well, now it's going to be my day. I mean, everyone respects Shane Mosley. We all know that he has to have a little Mexican in him, the way he throws those body shots. The bottom line is, I'm more Mexican. And September 18th, I fought at the Staples Center. I bled, and I was behind on points, and I've come back like a true warrior that I am to win a tough decision at the Staples Center with 10,000 people supporting me. I hope I get the same support, because I'm going to bleed like I always do and give it all I have. There's no point in me. You guys don't know anything about me if you guys just judge me on a contender in a reality show. You know absolutely nothing. But that's the chip that resides right here. You got a little glimpse on it. And last thing, since I got the spotlight here, whoever's from Arizona, I'm sorry to say, there's a lot of ignorant laws that are being passed in Arizona, and since this is a big thing going on for Mexicans, and this is going to be our 200th anniversary as Mexican and Mexican Americans, there's a lot of bigotry, a lot of blatant racism going on down there. And I just think really the American dream was achieved by my mother, who came here at 17, worked for a Jewish family, babysitting their kids, and as a housekeeper, but raised 4 boys on her own and raised one to be a world champion. I pay my taxes just like everybody else. It's ignorant. It needs to change. And Arizona needs to step up because Mexicanos, man, the raza sticks together and we do what we do. We pay our taxes and we educate our children.
Gracias, damas y caballeros. How you guys doing out there? First of all, I'd just like to say I'm happy to be fighting again so soon. Last time it was 1 year, and then the next time I fought it another year later. Now it's at least I think 4 or 5 months later. So it's a good thing to be back fighting again. It's a good thing to have all you fans out there, supporting and like you guys do. I'm very happy to be fighting on a card like this where I have such the great young talents coming up, Saul Alvarez, Victor Ortiz. These are great fighters coming up, and for me to be fighting Sergio Mora, now I was, we're if you will, all fighters are friends. We talk to each other and stuff like that. But I think this fight came about, and Sergio kind of mentioned it. He's been eyeing me since, he's 1-0. Since he was 1-0, it's been in the gym eyeing me, and he's thinking that, he's getting a little older, and now I can take him. So that's all right. I'm gonna give the young guy a chance to see what he can do. I mean, he beat Vernon Forrest. He beat all these great guys. He won the contender, and now I want to give him his opportunity to see if he can take on the great warriors myself, and maybe be one of the Mexican stars that can beat me in the Staples Center, which is my home. But I'm just glad to be able to get in the ring, get myself back together, and fight. And I'm happy for Golden Boy, the promotions, Richard and Oscar, helping to make this fight happen, make it possible. There was some other fights that were out there, and Sergio Mora, backed out his fight to take this fight with me, and I'm happy about that. To be, fight on this big card. It's gonna be a great card. It's gonna be a great night of fighting with Sergio Mora being a little bit bigger than me. I just can't wait to get in there and do my thing, show my talent, show my skills, show that I still got it, show that I'm not too old, show the world that I had a bad night with Floyd, but there was some interesting moments maybe in the second round, but things happen, and I just can't wait to get in there and do my thing. And thank everybody for being great fans. And I just thank everybody for showing up for the fight, and it's going to be a great fight. Thank you.